friends, and welcome to That Outdoorsy Podcast. I'm your host, Cassie, aka That Outdoorsy Gal, and today we're diving into episode 2. I'm joined by Miriam from Explore, Hike, Teach on Instagram and TikTok, who many of you already know as one of Utah's OG outdoor influencers. Her page has helped so many of us plan our weekend adventures and Utah travels. She finds these hidden gems that honestly I didn't even know existed. So if you've ever wondered how she discovers these places, what keeps her going back outside, or even some of the funny whoopsies along the way, this episode is for you. Now, I've known Miriam for a couple of years, and I can tell you firsthand that this chica does not sleep. She works so hard to provide quality content and share important outdoor information. I honestly don't know how she does it, but we all appreciate her so much. Please, someone just comment and tell her to take a nap. She's been hosting group hikes for the last couple of years with our friend Andrea Cannon. Shout out to @theAndreaCannon on Instagram. I actually went on the very first one they hosted, and that's how Miriam and I became friends. And now she's leading group trips too, and I just can't wait to hear more about everything she has going on. Miriam, welcome to That Outdoorsy Podcast. I'm so excited to have you here today.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Of course. Let's just start at the beginning. How did you first get started in the outdoors? Was there a particular moment that really hooked you?
So I grew up in New Jersey, and my parents are not outdoorsy at all. And when I moved out here to Utah, I met within 3 days of moving out here, I met my now husband, right? And we started hiking together. And early on, so one of the earlier hikes that we took was actually Mount Timpanogos, and I showed up with a water bottle and wearing Keds sneakers. It was the 4th of July, and it was a really snowy year, and there was like tons of snow still on the trail. So of course I'm like hiking up there, and if you're familiar with the trail, there's that one section that's more like kind of scree and it's really narrow and you're like walking across, and I'm sitting here terrified, it's like sea level girl walking up in the mountains, and I'm just like, I think I'm gonna like slide down the mountain like to my death, right? And all the other people are wearing all their crampons and everything. And we finally get up to Emerald Lake, and it's completely covered with snow, and I was like, that is it, forget it. I'm out of here. So we hiked back down, and then me being the personality that I have, I was like, I can do that better. And I was like, I know it seems like counterintuitive in some ways, but like I loved the experience, even though it was like mildly terrifying to me.
I totally
But
get
just
it.
you're like, you want to get out there and do it. So it's like a lot of it's a challenge just as much as the beauty.
Yeah,
So yeah.
definitely. I feel like
Anyway.
that's just me hiking in general. We'll do a big hike. I'm like, oh, I never want to do that again. And then the next day I'm like, oh, I can't wait to go back.
Yeah, like never say never, right?
So now you've done this hike at Mount Timpanogos, which is a pretty crazy hike for those who don't know. And then somewhere along the way, your hiking turned into Explore, Hike, Teach. Was that something that you set out to create? Did it kind of just happen organically? How did you get there?
So, well, like most people or many people, I started posting in 2021. So around the pandemic. So I moved to Utah about 30 years ago, and of course started hiking. And, it kind of back to that story. My husband is also from back east, and we were planning on moving back east. But then we spent a year in Utah and fell in love, and we're like, we're never going back, right? We're here to stay. And so I've been hiking in Utah for 30 years. And I just, when kind of social media became a thing, I would just share what I'm doing, just like most people do. And people came up to me all the time and it's like, you should share your hikes and like, have a page. And I just kind of jumped in and I was like, why not? It's a pandemic. I have the time. I'm just going to share. And I didn't really necessarily follow a lot of like public accounts. It was mostly just friends. I really had no idea what I was doing, and it just kind of organically grew on its own into what it is today. So
I love that.
crazy.
I mean,
Yeah.
I obviously follow you. We went hiking last night and ran
Mhm.
into some people that follow you and have been on some of your trips. So, I mean, you're doing a great thing and we all really appreciate you.
Oh, well, that's very kind.
And
Thank
I
you.
know how hard you work, and thank you.
Well, thank you.
So, you've become kind of the go-to source for places to go in Utah. How do you actually find the spots that you go to? Because you'll post some stuff and I'm like, I have never even heard of this.
I mean, some of it I think is just by nature of hiking for so long here, and we've always been driven to kind of find places that are off the beaten path, right? And I mean, clearly I hike things that everyone else does all the time. I mean, things are popular for a reason and you enjoy them. So I'm not saying like I don't, but I'm really driven to just kind of find like unique places and different places. And I have, a lot of resources I like to use. Like Road Trip Ryan is excellent and Girl on the Hike. And those are definitely some of my go-to resources. And sometimes I'll just get on the app and put in an area and I'll just start digging around. I've
I love
even
that.
used like just Google Maps to find things as well, which is kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah. I use Road Trip Ryan and Girl on a Hike as well. So
Hmm.
shout out to you guys
I
because
know they're
you're
amazing.
amazing.
They are like truly amazing,
The details in their
right?
vlogs, I'm just like, oh, thank goodness.
Right.
I'll just like screenshot it if I know I'm not going to have service. I'm just like,
Hmm.
how do I survive this hike?
Road Trip has an app, right?
I didn't.
Oh, okay.
What?
Road Trip should pay me. Just kidding. No, but
Yes.
okay. So he has. This is an amazing resource. Like, I mean, his app, it's not just hiking, it's roadside attraction, climbing, campsites, like off the grid campsites, right? Boondocking, is that what it's called? I don't know. Can you tell I'm not really a camper? Anyway,
Clamper.
yes. So you can buy sections, like areas, like he'll have like the San Rafael Swell or Capitol Reef National Park or Southwest
What?
Utah. And I believe it's $7.99 and you pay it's a one-time fee and there's like updates. And so it works like all trails in terms of like there's maps and you can see yourself on the map and he has pins along the map to see all sorts of cool different sites that are along the trail and pictures, directions, like step-by-step directions on how to get to the trailhead,
Oh my
including
gosh.
Google Maps and I mean just like a description, rating. I mean, it's amazing. There's so much good information out there.
Okay, I am downloading immediately. Everyone should download, and maybe I can convince him to come on the podcast sometime.
I think you
I'm
should.
going to
That would be
manifest
awesome.
it.
There you
Okay,
go.
I'm going to
There you
do
go.
it. We're going to get him on. Thank you. I had no idea. So
Yeah,
that's
it's
amazing.
it's amazing. So, and since it's a one-time fee, it's like, it's not like you're
Yeah.
re-upping, right?
But even that, I don't even care. I'll pay a little bit to find some good information.
Same.
So you don't just share your love of the outdoors online. You've started leading group hikes with Andrea, and
Hmm.
now you're doing like full on group trips. What's that experience like for you creating adventures for other people?
It is definitely something that, again, kind of grew more organically. I actually worked with a partner who has a website and app, and it was kind of around like fitness, but also hiking. And as part of the partnership, they asked me to host a group hike, and that was definitely out of my comfort zone to do that, just because like it's just so awkward and whatever. And I hosted it, and you came.
And that was the first group hike I've ever done.
And it was a big learning experience for me, but I actually loved it. Like the community around it, I was like, oh my gosh, this is so cool. Right. And so that's when Andrea and I are like, we should, and she co-hosted with me, which is nice to kind of have someone around with, so help keep track of everybody and make sure hopefully everyone's having a good time and like with the group and everything. We decided that we were just going to host them together, and it's just been a ton of fun.
Well, I
I wish
know.
we had more time to host more often, but it's just how it goes.
How often do you guys do the group hikes?
So we do the hikes about once a month, and we just do the signups through my newsletter. It just kind of keeps everything streamlined and kind of pretty clear. When we first rolled it out, I was like just putting it out in my stories, sign up, and then it was like we were overwhelmed with the response, and then trying to make sure that people were, because I limited it to 12 because of Leave No Trace, and I just want to make it a really positive experience so people can really get to know other people and meet people. And if I feel like if it's a really large group, sometimes it can lead to people accidentally being left out or, just like overwhelming. So we just, between all those factors, we limit it to 12. So yeah.
Well, as someone who went on that first group trip, it was amazing. And I still like follow everyone I met that day and still talk to them on Instagram. So
Hmm.
they
It's
really are fun.
the community part, honestly, has turned out to be probably my favorite part of Instagram. And like, social media.
Yeah. And it's funny because I am very much an introvert.
Mhm.
Like I am just so awkward when I get in groups, you know. You know how I am. I just get quiet. But I
Mhm.
feel like the Instagram community for me, I can like hide behind the screen, like hide behind the phone a little bit.
Mhm.
And so it's nice to do these group hikes every once in a while because then I can meet people. And then when I'm like feeling shy, I can just like DM them instead of like hang out with them. Which is
I
great
feel
for me.
this.
Hopefully, they're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm sure. No, people have been. I think people that spend time outdoors are happier. I'm clearly have my
Totally.
bias, but
Totally.
it's just people are just so nice and
Yeah.
kind and just good
Everyone,
people. Yeah.
every single person I've met is so nice. A lot of like my hiking friends are people I've
Mhm.
just met on the trail, like randomly. So I
I
love
love
it.
that.
Yeah.
That's the best.
Yes. So talk about your bigger group trips a little bit. Like, have you had like a really cool experience on like one of your recent trips, maybe that you'd like to share?
Okay. Well, so I just got back. Was that just last weekend? Yes, that
I
was
think
just last
so.
weekend. Like, oh my gosh, and so you know how it is, like when something's like so amazing, it feels like it was just yesterday and yet like
Yeah.
every like far away. Anyway, so we went down to southern Utah and one of the things we did was hike Angel's Landing. And we hired a guide, mostly, well, I mean, some of it's just in national parks. You can't just lead a group of hikers, right?
Right.
You have to have a guide. But also, this is a big bucket list experience for a lot of people. And, I realize that everyone's like, oh, the app makes it like scarier because people put their camera on 0.5 and whatever. But like everyone has different capacities, what feels so challenging for them. And like, that legitimately can be really scary. And let's be real, like you can't minimize people have died on this hike. Like it's a thing,
Yeah.
right? So we had quite a few women who had never hiked it ever once. And some of them ran into a point in the hike where they were like, I'm done. I'm done. I'm just going to sit here and I'll wait for you guys. We're good. And we just like, no, that's fine. Like, if you need to stay here, we'll support that 100%. But we're like here. Let's just try to go a little more forward on the trail. And so we just sat there and waited, you know, get calm, get in a good headspace, and then move forward. Between the guides and just all the women cheering each other on, every single one of those women made it to the top. And I gotta tell you, like, if you're facing that kind of like challenge emotionally, to actually summit that, that's amazing. I was so impressed with every single one of those women. It was just so really awesome to
I love
see.
that. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, Angel's Landing is, I mean, it's what is it? One of America's most dangerous hikes for a
Yeah.
reason.
Yeah.
And so I've seen a lot of people just be like, nope. But I love that you guys all did it together. And I'm sure that if that's something they'll never forget.
Yeah. It was amazing. It's so inspiring. Those women are I just love them all. I mean,
Good.
some of them have been hiking and have known each other for over a year now, and it's just really awesome.
On your group trips, do you have a lot of the same people or do you
So,
have new people or mix?
the first one, obviously, it was all new women, and so yes and no. Now I'm starting to get a lot of repeat people,
Okay.
right? So there's always new people going as well, so it's like a good mix. And people, the best part about it is people come really, and they want to meet other people that are interested in the same thing. So everyone's just in there to like have a great time and spend time with other cool women.
I love it. I need to
Yeah,
try it. I just need to do it.
you
Stop being an introvert and just do it.
it's pretty dang special.
Yeah.
Like
I mean,
you
just
come
listening
back
to
from
you
a trip
talk
and you
about it.
just ride this high for like quite a while. That's pretty awesome.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Do you have any more coming up? Any more group
So
trips?
currently I have a trip to Costa Rica planned in June, which I'm super
Bye.
stoked about. We're gonna be like rappelling through waterfalls and hiking on volcanoes and on the beach and snorkeling and sea kayaking and it's gonna be pretty amazing. And then I have one that I'm planning. Hopefully going to launch a trip to the Italian Dolomites for next
Ooh.
summer as well, but that's like still in the planning phases, so probably shouldn't have said anything, but I'm so
Here,
excited.
here we are.
Yeah, I was like, so, but, and then we will definitely like the end of September, Southern Utah trip is a staple. Like that's just going to
Okay.
keep on the rotation. So obviously nothing's announced yet
Yeah.
officially, but that is always just like we're always doing it. So I like to do that one. It's a little shorter, so it's not as a big of a time commitment or a financial commitment, so just try to provide lots of different options for people. Yeah.
So fun. All the exciting things.
Yeah, pretty stoked.
Out of everywhere you've explored, all the places, what's the one place that really stands out as a favorite?
Oh,
And do you
that is
have
like
like a favorite
the
hike there, maybe?
that is honestly, I was just talking to my husband Derek about this. It's just so hard. I feel
It's so
like
hard.
I have experiences like in different places, but I will say probably Iceland. There, I don't even remember the name, but there's this one. It was like we hiked, so we went in 2018, and I'm old, so I don't remember the exact name of the waterfall, but it's one of those iconic ones you see all the time,
Hmm.
and you can hike up above it and then keep hiking past it. And it's like also it's a part of a famous backpacking trail. We
Mm.
just day hiked and it just kept getting better and better as you're hiking up on this like plateau, waterfall after waterfall after waterfall. It was just amazing. And I think it's called like in English it's basically called the waterfall trek.
Iceland, so bad. One
It's
of these
definitely
days.
one of my favorite trips we've ever taken.
Ugh.
So for sure.
Did you
But
go
I
in the
just
summer, I'm
We
guessing?
did.
Or
Yeah,
yeah.
we went
Okay.
in August and like I mean just recently this past summer I went to the Dolomites and we hiked to the lake Sorap. Am I saying that right? Serapis. I don't even know how to pronounce
I
it.
don't know either.
Anyway, it's insanely blue. And you see pictures of places and there was like, they bumped up the saturation or the color or whatever. And I literally crested and was like giggling because it was so beautiful. And just
Oh,
like I mean, I think we all have moments like that in the trail where you're like some conditions are just ideal and everything's just perfect, and you're just like, how is this even real right now?
I think that was
Like,
me on our hike last night when we saw four moose. I was like,
you
oh
know,
my gosh, there's
like
so many moose.
it was pretty cool. That was pretty epic. So yeah. I don't
Cool.
I yeah. I mean I just in some ways it's like, oh, the hike I just went on that was the best one, right?
I know.
Because, I feel like every place that I've gone, there's at least one experience where you're just like have that's like super special. I will give a little plug to Natural Bridges National Monument.
I
I
love
don't know
it.
if you've had that opportunity to
So
hike
many.
there yet.
Yeah, I've been a few times.
Okay, and that under the bridges, or yeah, under the bridges loop, so the like
Yeah.
three of the world's largest natural bridges or arches. That hike is just
Yes.
really special. So
Everyone write that down.
yeah,
It's so
and
good.
I'm not going to disclose too much, but there are definitely some surprises there if you know where to look. I'll just leave it at that.
Just leave it
So,
at that. And also it's like a international dark sky. Isn't that
hmm
right? Like the
yeah, yeah.
stars there.
hmm
I've never seen anything like it.
Did you
I
camp
just,
when you were there then?
huh?
You camped when you were there?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Amazing.
And that was like when I wished that I had an actual camera
Okay.
to
Yeah,
do cool photos because it
I
was
know, right?
so beautiful.
Yeah,
I know.
that's
Now
awesome.
I'm gonna have to go back. You've
Okay.
inspired me to plan another trip. So now closer to home in Utah,
Okay.
do you have a favorite hike here? Now I ask these
Let's.
questions knowing
Okay.
that they're impossible to answer because people
Right.
ask me all the time, "What's your favorite hike?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I love them all."
Okay. I'm just throwing out top five here. I don't even have
Okay.
top. I don't have five in mind necessarily, but I'm just gonna start throwing off ones that I'm just like come back to year after year.
Love it.
So this one actually starts in Utah and crosses over into the Arizona border, just like the wave does. Same thing. It's called the Teepees hike. And so it's outside the permit zone. And you start and you hike through what's the name? It's not Buckskin Gulch. Where you hike the Wire Pass. There it
Oh,
is. Okay, so you
okay.
hike through Wire Pass, and then at one point in the trail, you take a right and you hike out to these teepees. They're sandstone teepees, and the formations and the colors are just stunning. And and I've actually shared many times about this place on social media, and I still, years later, hike out there and hardly see anyone out there still.
I've
So,
not been there, so
yeah,
I'll be
it
adding
is
it
a
to my list.
It is a haul. It's between 11 and 13 miles. I'm sure that kind of keeps people away, but
I love that.
It's just, so that's definitely like a top hike in Utah. Upper Muley Twist in Capitol Reef National Park
I
is
haven't done
definitely
this
one.
either.
Yeah, so that's pretty spectacular because you drive out there and you kind of hike through this wash and then up to this view over like the Tarantula Mesa. See now the views of the Strike Valley overlook, and you get to these amazing formations. And there's actually 7 arches along the hike, which is
Oh my
really cool.
gosh.
Now, there are 2 really large ones, but most of the other ones are smaller and they're kind of more views of the arches, so I don't want to misrepresent, but it's cool to see those. And then there's a couple slot canyons as well that you hike, slot sections that you hike through. So it's just got a little of
Oh my
everything, and
gosh.
it's pretty spectacular. That's about a 10.5 mile loop, but there's not a lot of elevation gains, so it's not particularly difficult besides just the distance, obviously. And the trailhead does require like a beefier car to get to,
Good
or
to
you can
know.
hike an extra 3 miles to get
Oof.
there, which makes for a long day.
Yes.
We've taken, it depends because you kind of drive through more of a wash to get there. And so sometimes it's easy to drive out there, and sometimes you definitely need like the high clearance 4-wheel drives. It just depends.
Noted. Oh,
Yeah.
my list is getting longer.
Okay. So, I mean, those are 2 off the top of my head. I could talk forever, so I should probably
Do you
just
have
stop.
any northern Utah hikes that you come back to over and over again?
I love Wasatch Crest
I do
in the
too.
fall or the
I
with the
just did that
wildflowers.
one.
So,
It's
it's
wonderful.
funny. I mean, with the new like parking situation up at Guardsman Pass, that kind of changes the dynamic of the hike a little bit. And a lot of people don't like that bikes, mountain bikes also use the trail, but just the views up there are just
They're so
incredible. And
good.
I think the payoff for like effort on that hike is so good,
It's
right?
really not that hard.
No, it's just
No.
long.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'll talk about all these like long hikes.
Yeah, I know. But I do. I love like where I can get a lot of miles in and like
Hmm.
not die on the elevation gain.
Yeah,
Like I
yeah.
just want to see the pretty things and not
Hmm.
feel like I'm gonna,
Hmm.
you know,
And then
die.
I actually just posted about it today. I'll give one last plug. Maple Canyon outside like Moroni or Fairview. I don't know if you've had the opportunity to hike out there.
I haven't.
So there's like 5 hikes really, but I've only really done 3. One super, super short. So the canyon's super unique because it's like conglomerate rock. And so almost like pebbles are like in the rock wall, but it's like big. And so it's also popular with climbers. But there's like a box canyon, so it's like more like a slot canyon, and that's pretty short. And then there's like the Left Fork Trail, which is beautiful in the fall, just tons of maples. I mean, it's Maple Canyon, right?
Right.
And then there's an arch out there, but it's made of conglomerate rock, right? So you can just hike a mile and a half out to the arch, but you could do this whole loop. And the loop after the arch, you're going through aspens and maples,
Oh
and you
wow.
climb up, and it's climbs steeply, and then you get out to this place called Lookout Rock, and you can see down in this canyon to these pillars and hoodoos of this, and it's fascinating. And then you come down, and then you have like these ladders you go down, which is always
Oh
kind of
my
fun to have
gosh.
like ladders. And then you get down in there, and there's this place called Pipe Dream Cave, and it's called Pipe Dream Cave. I feel like it's more of an alcove, just just true transparency there. So it just like has a lot of little things, and there's great camping right there in the canyon. It's like the campsites I think are like $10. It is like a forest, national forest. And so I think there's like a $5 fee to like park your car there. But I just think that place is, you say it's underrated because I feel like people don't know about it, but
Hmm.
you go and there are people there. So it's not like no one knows about it. I just think
Yeah.
not a lot of people know. Right.
Yeah.
So I've never gone and been like, oh, there's plenty of parking. I definitely have to drive and find parking. So
Got
just a
noted.
little heads up.
Okay. Yeah, I think I was trying to go last year in the
Mhm.
fall, and then we had not the best fall, and then I
Mm.
just, got mad and canceled all my hikes.
I will say,
All the
like,
leaves fell so fast.
I know, I feel like mid-October is typically a good time for
Okay.
that canyon. So just a little heads up. I haven't been down this season yet, so I can't say exactly what the conditions are. So
Okay.
at the moment, but
Adding
on a
to the
typical year.
list. Yes.
And it's like a 2-hour drive from Salt Lake City, so it's doable for a
Yeah.
day if you don't mind driving 2 hours if you're crazy like I am.
I think a lot of hikers will drive like 5 hours to hike 3 miles. So I feel like 2 hours is nothing.
You're like, not a big deal.
Not a big deal. The outdoors like to give us those wow moments that keep
Mhm.
us coming back. Do you have any like big wow moments that you always like maybe come back and talk about when you're talking to your friends or family about hikes that you've done?
Well, okay. I feel like this kind of intersects a little bit with what we talked about before, but I will say, like in Colorado, like that Ice and Islands Lake Trail, if you're not familiar with it, uh, there are moments on trails where I've literally cried because things are so beautiful. And
Me
that was
too.
definitely one of those places where, like, again, the color of the water. I mean, it was cloudy the day we went, and it's still the color was just stunning, right? Here hiking to Neon Canyon or the Golden Cathedral, there goes by two different names. We were just it was like definitely one of those moments where you're just like, oh my gosh, how'd I like I didn't know, but like you literally were there at the perfect time, like with the conditions, the way the sun was, and like that there weren't a lot of crowds, and the for those who aren't familiar, it's like definitely this huge alcove, and in it are three window style arches, like pothole arches. What are they called when they're at the roof, right?
I
And
don't
then
know.
going
They're
down.
like
I
holes
think,
in the
yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, through the top. So there's three, and people will actually hike and rappel through them, right? It's like a longer,
I have
more
some cool
technical
videos
hike.
of that.
Yeah, that I mean that would be like the dream. I'd love to do that. It's super technical, but I don't, if I'm honest, I don't know that I have the strength to do it properly, but it would be amazing. And just the light was hitting the water and it was creating these reflections of the ripples on the sandstone. And it was just like, how is this my life right now? Like, what is going on? So things like that, or, Bears Ears National Monument is so special. And if you haven't got down there, you need to go. There are so many special places there with all the ruins and the
I say
petroglyphs
just the
and
history.
just the history. And
Yeah.
yeah, it's just incredible.
Going back to Golden Cathedral, I
Mhm.
did that a few years ago, and it was kind of the same way. Like everything was just hitting perfect,
The
and
stars align.
oh my gosh, I walked in and I was like, oh my gosh. And we also had people rappelling down, so we got to like
Mhm.
see that. But then we like there were a couple people there, not like a ton, and we
Okay.
just kind of sat down. There's kind of like a beach there, like the
Hmm.
sand, and
Yeah.
we just sat down and from out of nowhere, this guy like behind us just started playing like a recorder. And I
Okay.
know like typically hikers don't love like music or loud sounds on a
Hmm.
trail, but it was like, the perfect moment. Like it was
Hmm.
just so I was like the same way. I was like, is this my life? I'm just sitting in this beautiful canyon. There's a recorder echoing. I was,
That
what is
sounds
this?
pretty dang
It
amazing.
was really
Yeah,
cool. Yeah,
that's awesome.
definitely to the listeners, add Golden Cathedral because it's amazing.
Just make sure you have high clearance.
High clearance and bring boots and sandals because you'll be
Yep.
crossing a lot of water.
Yes, yes.
I went in the spring and it was pretty high water and I was like, "Oh my gosh, what did I do?"
Oh, gee.
But it was
It
fun. It
must
was
have
an
gone
adventure.
in 22, probably. That was like a high water year.
It
So
actually
I don't know.
probably was 22.
But
Yeah, 21 or
yeah,
22.
yeah. That was pretty epic year in terms of the water. Yeah.
Well, now that we've kind of talked about the wow moments, is there a maybe an adventure or a hike or an experience that you did that you would never do again? Like you look back and you're like, I'm glad I did it, but never, I will never do
Never
that again.
again. I've learned in my life that when I say I'm never going to do something
Right.
again, I've eaten my words. And I'm probably going to get some hate for this, but locally, if I never did Mount Olympus again, I wouldn't even care.
Seriously, me
I'm
too.
gonna, I mean, I think it's a great challenge and the
Yeah,
views are nice, but I am definitely like a nature person, right? So it's like you get up there, you hike 3 miles, really steep. It's like what, 1,000 feet a mile elevation
straight
gain.
up,
Yeah,
straight
and then
up.
you just kind of scramble up to the top. I mean, nothing super technical, but
Yeah.
like a little scramble. And then it's like you're rewarded with views of the valley, right? So it's kind of
Hmm.
like I know I have lots of people that love that hike. So
Yeah, it's
sorry.
so hard though. Like
It's
even
just like
as someone who hikes all the time.
So I
That is
just
a
think,
tough hike.
yeah, it's a tough hike, and it's just like, mm, I
I feel
like
like there are other
one.
hikes you can do. Yeah. I feel like there are other hikes you can do where you can get the same view, but like there's a little bit more nature along the way, you know. Grandeur, I actually really like Grandeur. It's kind of the same view, but
Mhm.
I feel like it's a little bit more in the woods maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, right. I actually haven't done that in quite a while. The last time I did it, I hiked it in the winter, and there was actually a cloud inversion, and that was pretty spectacular, you know?
Oh, that's my
So,
favorite.
oh my gosh,
I hit
that's probably the
Grandeur.
only time I've had a cloud inversion ever. Like, I'm so not lucky that way.
I hit Grandeur on a cloud inversion too a few years ago. And just side note, Desolation Overlook.
Hmm.
I always, almost every winter, hit a cloud inversion there. So note
I'm gonna
that
hit you up this winter.
we're gonna go. When we see those clouds, we're just gonna run to the mountains.
Oh my gosh, that would be amazing.
My favorite part of the episode is my we listen and we don't judge section. Because
No.
we've all done stupid things outside. I know I've done a lot, and so I just want to know that I'm not the only one. So, is there any moment or moments that you've
Oh my
had where
gosh.
you're just like, I can't believe I did that?
You know, I could give you a list about a mile long
Good.
of
I don't
like
want to be the only one.
mistakes I've either made on the trail or just stupid things. I've kind of shared some in my newsletter a few different times, just as kind of like talk about different things. But one, not last winter, the winter before, we hiked a place called Water Canyon, which is outside of Hilldale, Utah. To hike to kind of the main feature is like a 3 mile round trip hike, but there's a whole loop you can do with like Squirrel Canyon, right? That so you go up past like the main feature where everyone goes with the water falls and everything, and you hike up past that. And we went in the winter, so there was all these big like ice, like frozen waterfalls, which was gorgeous. But that also meant there was some ice and snow on the trail, even though you were down in southern Utah. We did not we knew there had been some snow. We didn't realize how much snow there was up top. So we're sitting here hiking, and of course, once you're a couple hours in, you're like, I'm committed, like I'm doing this, right? So you actually hit a point where there's like a big like jump from one shelf to the next, and there's like a log, and it's got all this ice on it. So we're like pushing each other up. We finally get up there, and we keep hiking, and eventually you get up to the top of like the canyon, and you get views over Zion National Park, which are in the distance, which are beautiful. At this point, there's like 6 inches of snow, and of course, no snowshoes because we weren't expecting that much snow. So we're hiking across, and then we start over to the next canyon, and hiking down leads into something, and this helicopter comes by. Right, and he's like, goes through, and we're like, whatever. We keep hiking down the sandstone, like, I don't know, it's just like slanted slope, right? And down into the canyon. And suddenly the helicopter turns around and like starts flashing its lights on us, like, do you
Oh,
need a rescue? And we're like, oh, no, we're fine, we're fine. Take that as a sign that things are clearly not going that well. Like, we're running out of daylight. It's taking us way longer just between like how kind of the semi-technical sections and then the snow. And so we're out. There's actually an arch out there called Eye of Heaven Arch that you can go out that's really big, that sits high on the canyon wall. You can actually see it from Water Canyon,
oh
but you're
wow.
up above, like hundreds of feet above. We were supposed to hike out. It's like a side quest on that trail. We did not have time. We knew we were running out of daylight, right? Because this is a 9 mile loop. So we're going down. I believe it's Squirrel Canyon. It's super steep, and we realized there's no way we're getting out of here before dark. Like none. So it starts getting dark, and we're finally like, oh, I think we're only 2 miles. Get my headlamp out. Does not turn on.
Oh
Like it's
no.
dead. It's dead. It must have at some point turned off, right? So luckily Derek still had one but it's just like one of those things is like, I mean, I don't know if that's particularly like funny, but just like it doesn't matter. It's like I've been hiking for 30 years. I'm still making stupid mistakes, right? I
Yeah,
mean,
we all
we
do
had
it.
spikes with us. I mean, I always had my spikes in the winter, and we always had our headlamp, but it's like I should have checked my headlamp. And that really could have like not ended very well. Like if he didn't have a headlamp. I mean, and the temperature's dropping and just anyway. It was just
Yep.
one of those experiences where like, okay, maybe we bit off a little more than we could chew.
I love that
So
the helicopter was like, "You okay?"
literally, you're like, this is when you
Uh,
start questioning, like,
they're probably like filming you like on the 6 o'clock news. Hikers lost in Water Canyon.
no, literally though. Oh god, that was it was a gorgeous hike though. Definitely
Yeah.
recommend if you're in for a little more rugged, little bit of a hike.
If you
So
plan ahead for the snow and the ice and the
yeah, probably
headlamp.
not in the winter though, Maybe the like not a lot of reviews should have been the clue.
Right. Yeah, I know, right? I feel like I,
Anyway.
I do that too. I'm like, oh, there's not a lot of reviews. I'm just gonna do it. And then I'm like, oh, I
Yep.
got it.
Yeah.
I understand.
Well, it's like, yeah. I mean, I just think in the winter, really not. Having never done it before was probably not the best choice ever. I mean, we were really fine. It's not, there was never any point in the
Yeah.
hike where I was like scared
It was just
but
one of those
also,
moments you look back on,
yes,
you're like,
you're just a little prepared a little better for that one.
that's a good one. I like it. It makes me feel better. And I'm
I have
glad that you
lots of
guys
stories like
made it
that,
out.
unfortunately.
Well, last thing, after all of your experiences in hiking, you've been hiking for 30 years. Do you have any advice to like just to hikers in general, to maybe new
Mm.
hikers? Is there any wisdom you would like to pass on?
Uh, you are a hiker if you believe you're a hiker, right? You want to hike, you enjoy hiking. Don't let anyone tell you, make you feel like you are less than or incapable, whatever. Just that if you enjoy being outdoors on a trail, you're a hiker, right? And we all start somewhere. It doesn't matter. I've been hiking for 30 years and still makes mistakes sometimes. It's fine. I mean, obviously, be prepared, have your 10 essentials. Even more importantly, leave no trace on the trail. Definitely will be like, maybe that's it. You're not a hiker if you don't leave no
There
trace.
you
There you
go.
go.
There you go.
There's my judgy moment for you.
Yes.
Just like to leave no trace on the trail. But just go out and have a good time. Enjoy nature. Like hiking's the best, no bias, of course.
Yes. No, of course. Yeah. And just to like echo off of that, just you're outdoorsy if you're outside.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people are, I don't, do the big hikes. The amount of times I just do a scenic drive because I just want to be outside and I'm just going to drive up the canyon and
Hmm.
I might just even turn off my car and sit in my car. Like, that's still outdoorsy.
Yeah.
It's still, not everyone can do the big hikes, and that is okay. Like,
Yeah.
we're just
And I love
here
that.
for the nature. I just love the nature.
Right, right. And everyone has their different levels and abilities, and you're starting out somewhere, right? So
Yeah, we all
it
started
might be hard
somewhere.
for you. It might not be hard for you, but that doesn't mean it's not. It's back to Angel's Landing. I know
Yeah,
people that are like, no, it's no big deal. And it's like, awesome, like really awesome,
yeah,
but like it's a big deal. And don't put down someone for
yeah,
that being a challenge, like I feel like. So,
yeah. And we're all
yeah,
like outdoorsy people. We're all nature lovers, and we just all can be nice to each other.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Awesome.
Okay, well, Miriam, thank you so, so, so much for being here. I really appreciate you coming on, and I've loved learning more about you and learning about some of your favorite trails that I have now added to my list.
Oh, good. I'm glad I at least was able to find something you didn't do. I don't know. I feel like
Oh
you've
my
been at
gosh.
so
Well, I
much.
haven't I haven't done as much Southern Utah. I've done a lot of Southern Utah, but you've covered the whole thing and I have not
Oh,
yet.
no. So, working on it, trying.
You got it.
Also,
We'll finish it together.
yeah, yeah. So,
Well, I really do appreciate it. I've had a lot of fun. This has been great.
all right. Well, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's always a good time.
Miriam, thank you so much for joining me today and sharing your stories. I know listeners are going to walk away with inspiration for their own adventures and probably a new hike or two to add to their list. And friends, don't miss next week's episode where we'll be chatting with Carrie Gregg from Girls Only Adventure Trips. We'll dive into how she created a space for women to find community, confidence, and connection through the outdoors. You don't want to miss it. In the meantime, if you enjoyed today's episode, please make sure to follow or subscribe on your favorite podcast app. And if you have any questions for me or Miriam, drop them in the comments or reviews. We'd love to hear from you. And of course, one last reminder, whatever adventures you head out on, please remember to leave no trace. Protect those places so they'll be just as magical for the next person. Until next week.